There are many different reasons how a person winds up homeless and living on the streets. Could be arrests, could be drugs, could be alcoholism, could be traffic accident, could be an injury, or it just could be simple traffic tickets that a person cannot pay or take care of quick enough to keep their driver's license, to keep their job. The man that I just met in downtown Tampa is one case where he received tickets that he feels are unjust, and he's fighting those tickets. And he says that he has a lot of proof and a lot of evidence to show how those tickets were illegal and how he was targeted. And we're going to talk to him and see what he has to say. Man, he's all the paper. I mean, I would think he's a lawyer, or I would think he's got the judge's desk right here. He's got all these case files out here. This is going to amaze you. And here's something else that I want to bring out too. This man is on the streets carrying all of this paperwork that is very important, and it's taken him a lot of resources, a lot of time, and money to keep this stuff. And he's got to keep it with him in the rain, on the streets, carry it in his bags, and make sure it stays safe. How does he do it? I don't know. A lot of these people can't keep their clothes with them. They lose their bags. People take them, steal them. The rain destroys them. Let's go over and talk to him real quick and see what he's got to say. Hey, what's going on, bro?
Hey, how you doing?
All right. This is James. What's your full name?
My full name is Marco Manuel Torres.
Okay, Marco, now you were just telling me a little bit, and I found it kind of unbelievable until I saw you. I mean, you're pulling case files out. You know, you're right down here in front of the courthouse at 9 o'clock at night. You know, something's really on your mind, man. And I want to let you have the opportunity here to explain what happened. How did you become homeless?
Well, before I start, James, I had to thank you and your family and your friends for even taking the opportunity to hear me, to come out here and feed me. As you see right here, the food that you gave me, but there's also food that is knowledge. 1, 2, 3, 4, and within those 4 blue folders, there are 2.
Go ahead and pick them up. Show them to us.
For example, like this is a lawsuit, which is the Google Noctorial. This is Rick Scott. This is, each folder is 2 lawsuits, and as you look right here, it's already been to Atlanta, Georgia, 11th Circuit, and this shall go to Washington soon, within 90 days. But
and what are the other ones here?
The other ones are basically,
I mean, it's a lot of paperwork,
this is
man.
the state of Florida and the state of Florida again.
You're carrying more file folders than lawyers carry when they're
This is, oh my God, look, James, you're gonna freak out. I sued a person in Chicago, and guess what the judge tells me? The judge tells me that basically I had no jurisdiction to sue another citizen from another state. This is Florida for you. And that's a lie. That is a lie. So if you go to Chicago and crash somebody over there, and you come back, that person could sue you in the state of Florida based on state among states.
Okay, so that case right there, you're telling me that the person that got into the car accident with you was from Chicago?
No, James, I was just using an example. But this case right here is based on Freedom of Information Act. I wrote a request for pertaining certain documents at another state under their public records, and they refused to answer, so I sued them.
So they denied your Freedom of Information request.
So I sued them under the jurisdiction which is here. The postmaster has what you call a treaties among states. So if I write your letter in Hawaii and you don't answer me, then it's a federal case. I take it it's a federal tribunal case because now you broke a federal law. You see what I'm saying? But they saying, Florida's saying, the judges in Florida, which is in Tampa, saying that I cannot sue another citizen from another state. Can you believe that? And they went to law school.
Wow.
And I went to the street law school.
Well, I know that the Freedom of Information Act is a strong act. You know, look, he's got more.
Well,
at
this
this
one
is
right
amazing.
here is upon a judge. His name is Paul T. Jeske. He violated my rights. He didn't give me no trial. And guess what? Here goes the statement of claims.
Look at this paperwork.
And
Are
he
you sure you're
violated
not a
count
lawyer?
one. No, I'm not a lawyer. I'm a person that cares for the people.
And so what you're doing with all this paperwork and all of the lawsuits and appeals you're filing, what is your goal? What are you trying to do?
My goal is to eventually one day, not for us, but for our children to come and their children, which is probably 50 years from now, that our children shouldn't have no license. If they crash you, then that's a civil law.
So you're saying that people that are driving the vehicle on the street shouldn't be required to have a driver's license?
No, but they are required to get registration and insurance, because when they crash, they have to pay for that in a civil matter.
Okay.
Now, if you crash and you kill someone, then that's a criminal offense. They
Right.
will arrest you.
Right.
But my dream and my goal is to hopefully one day our children won't have to have a license to drive. Just like in 1933, a horse was our vehicle, a mule. You didn't need a license to drive that. Which one you think is safer? A horse?
So how many years have you been following this dream? How many years did you?
I've been suing the government since 1995.
And what spawned this? What created the issue where that you filed the first
Thank you,
lawsuit?
James. What caused this action of their brutality is that one day this cop woman stopped me and wrote me 6 tickets. I was guilty.
What were those tickets for?
The tickets was driving without a suspended license, which is the first offense. Second offense, you will go to jail, but it was my first time. No proof of insurance, an expired tag, and not carrying my license.
Okay, so you didn't have a driver's license.
I didn't have a driver's license.
The driver's license that you didn't have was suspended.
Was suspended maybe 2 weeks.
And you didn't have auto
expired.
insurance.
I didn't have no auto insurance.
And the license plate that was on your vehicle was not registered to it.
It wasn't registered. It was maybe 2 weeks expired of registration.
So it was for that vehicle, but it just wasn't renewed.
It wasn't renewed. And I like I told the officer, I'm very sorry. I don't have this. I don't have this. I don't have this because of my situation. I'm trying to find work. And she said, no problem. I have to write your ticket. I said, thank you very much. And I try to, because I know my second offense of driving with suspension, you will go to jail. I understand that. She gave me the tickets. She told me to sign. I refused, and I went to jail, James.
Now, that was what year?
That was 2012, man.
Now, because of that, in 2012, and all these case files, you've been homeless the whole time since then?
I've been homeless, and I can't find work because half of the jobs, they need a person with a license, like lawn service. You know, this officer has stopped me from being a foreman at a lawn because I need license to drive my crew.
And then whenever you fill out an application,
exactly,
you said you have to put it down.
I had to put down that I've been arrested for a misdemeanor, which I've been arrested for not signing the ticket, which is not a felony or a misdemeanor, a crime in the state of Florida. And I did 11 hours bonded out. And I didn't beat the case because Judge Paul T. Jeske denied my right for a fair trial and impartial jury. Denied everything.
No,
so now I'm in a Washington Supreme Court, and you're my witness, James.
How many times have you been to jail because of that first initial arrest? How many times has your homelessness, because of this, wound you up in a situation where you were arrested?
I personally have gotten arrested one time for that offense, and I never been arrested ever since.
Never since. So only for that one time.
Yes, because they have restricted me from movement. So if I can't move, I can't see the officer, or I can't drive.
So you've managed to live on the streets carrying all that paperwork with you for, I mean, do you have anywhere that you store this paperwork? Anywhere you can keep it to keep it safe?
There's sometimes that I have to hide it in woods, protect it. There's times that I get most response from higher courts, and I have to actually respond within 10 days. So, you know, this is something that I have to carry with me at all times.
Yeah. Well, what would you say to the people that are watching about homelessness? I mean, we know the situation, what happened that caused you to be homeless, and what would you say to other people? Advice to help them to keep from becoming homeless.
Well, if you really want to, really want to know, I say contact me or James, and we need to sue whoever violates the rights. Because if you give up your rights for a lousy mental check, because if you're incompetent, then you can't sue. So what the government is doing is giving all these people a lousy mental incompetent check so that they can't sue. So I have to force to be out here homeless and fight for people's rights because I don't want that lousy check.
And then a lot of people probably think you're crazy or have problems because of that.
The problem is them for even accepting this mental check. They don't know they destroying them and their loved ones, because if everyone has a check and they mentally incompetent, then you don't have no say-so. And guess what? And they know that, so they sold their soul to the government or to the devil, whichever. Me, I don't want no check. I want what's mine, and that's my constitutional rights.
People that are on the streets, like you're carrying all these all this paperwork with you, and you're out here and you're trying to make sure your paperwork doesn't get lost, doesn't get ruined. What is something you see that's lacking that would be of use to help a lot of people that are on the streets to keep their belongings, to make sure their stuff stays safe while they're battling, trying to get off the streets? Anything?
What's lacking out here is communication in order to fund a place where there's showers, which they have one, but again,
where is that?
That's Grace Hopes or something with Grace. But it's so far. It's in Nebraska, going north of Tampa.
Okay, well, no, that's closed. That was actually the shop.
The shop?
Yeah, no, but that's been closed. That's been closed a long time.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, I wasn't aware of that, but that's the only one that I know.
Right, that's been closed.
But I'm going to tell you this,
that was
James.
The shop ran by MHC, Mental Health Corporation.
Yes.
Right, yeah, that's been closed.
Oh, my God. Dave.
For about a year and a half.
Well, that explains why people around here smell it. You know, that's a shame, man. I mean, everyone deserves a punishment, but not like that, man.
And you see people, they go out and they pass out soap and toiletries and clothing and stuff, but where do the people go to get clean to put it on?
If they can't be clean, how are they going to find a job, man? James, help me out, please, man. Can you please tell my people, our people, that's lacking this disrespect, man?
Go ahead, say your full name again and say your email address. You have an email address?
Yes, my first name is Marco, middle name is Manuel, last name Torres. My email is marcotorres666@gmail.com. If you have any federal complaints, any officer, any person, I just don't do felonies because I was once a felony, and when you do time, you do the crime, you gotta do the time. I'm more for civil rights, violation of constitutional rights. That's what I'm for.
Well, it was good to meet you. It was very good to meet you, Manuel. And this is one guy right here, man. And I'm glad that I met out here, and I'm glad that I got the chance to put his story out there and let people see. Also, there are many different reasons why people are on the streets. And this man right here, just because of simple traffic tickets, and that's not right.
James, before you go, I just want to say one more thing. Please listen to me. After the Supreme Courts, there's Federal Court of Claims. So the Supreme Court judges, get out of line. I'm going Federal Court of Claims. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for watching. Share this video. Put it in the comments what you think about it. And we're going to walk across the street right here because I think this woman's getting trespassed for being right just on the sidewalk, and she's not even in the park right now. Let's go see what that's about.